Hello and welcome back to another episode of Coffee Talks. This is Cara. I'm Michael. We have one purpose here. It's to help you elevate your performance. We are chatting about training and nutrition, and today specifically, you already know because you've seen the title, we're talking about the 5 things that will almost guarantee your failure when it comes to training and nutrition. So if you can avoid these 5 things, you're probably more likely to succeed when it comes to your overall kind of health and wellness. Before we dive into those, I want to tell you about 2 things. The first thing is the weekly mainstay. This is an email that goes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. We talk about all of our best bits regarding to training, nutrition, mindset, all the stuff that, gets into the nitty gritty that we maybe don't get to do on here. It's also the place where we pre-release our programs, our ebooks, and anything that's paid for always gets a discount on there. So if you're not already part of that, head to our website, themainstaymovement.co.uk, and subscribe to the weekly mainstay. It's something you will want to be a part of. The second thing is, if you're watching this on YouTube, we want you to subscribe. We want you to leave a comment because it helps us reach more people and kind of pass all this stuff on. So, if you've been following the series, hopefully you're getting some benefit out of it. Hopefully you're seeing that making certain changes will improve your overall health, performance, lifestyle. So please help us pass that on and share the message. Now, that's not what you came for. You came for our top 5 setups for failure.
5 steps to failure.
5 steps to failure. So
that we don't want you to do.
Exactly. Don't repeat these, and hopefully you'll succeed. So the first thing is skipping meals or cutting calories too aggressively. Take it away.
That's nice. Good. Okay, so really common. I've been there myself. When you know that you're starting a journey of trying to lose weight, obviously you need to cut calories. Okay, it's all about energy balance. Okay, so consuming less than what you're burning, and the natural thing to do is to just take a big chunk of those calories and just get rid of them. But that's not sustainable. Okay, so that's the main thing, is that we want to set you up for success long term, not just short term transformations. There's no doubt that those things absolutely work, like those 12-week transformations. They're not a lie, but they're absolutely horrible to do. And you could never do that for the rest of your life. Okay, so we are all about lifestyle changes, not just changes that are going to be quick fixes that then you're just going to binge and completely go the other direction. And that's what those things lead to.
Amazing. Cutting your calories really excessively as well is going to impact on your training, your general kind of mood day to day, all these sorts of things. So we want to kind of keep enjoyment in life. We want to be able to perform when it comes to our training. We want to be able to perform when it comes to our work and our responsibilities that we kind of have outside of just eating and training, because most of us aren't elite athletes that do this day in, day out. So we got to think of so many other things. The second thing, which is massive, is overtraining and under resting. We see it all the time when, people start at a new gym, or you start with a new coach, or you start following a new program. You have so much enthusiasm, so much passion, and so much desire to just get after it and, make those gains when it comes to your strength or lose weight, like whatever it is. But if it's something new, generally you got to build into it, especially if you're someone who's new to training. There's absolutely no point going to the gym every single day and killing yourself, because you're going to end up miserable. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be well recovered. So many things are at play here. So overtraining is not the one, and under resting is also not the one. You can talk about under resting as well.
Yeah, definitely. From like an injury perspective, I've seen a lot of people come in and just like hammer the volume, not rest enough, absolutely wreck themselves, and then just like blame the programming or blame the training or the coach to say that that was the reason why they got absolutely broken, not realizing that they were coming from absolutely nothing and trying to go from 0 to 100 all at once, thinking that that was going to make them better. And then also people not like improving and just coming into this plateau phase again, because they're not allowing their body time to adapt. And adaptation is such a massive part of training, and that's where the rest and recovery comes in. And I don't think people give that the value that it's due. And also I think people don't often have an understanding of I think they think that if you go and train like as hard as you can and hammer the volume, particularly from a wanting to lose weight perspective, they think that they just got to out train the calories that they're consuming. And if they keep going in and, you're like burning off, what you've just consumed, then that's the way to lose weight. But I think there isn't an understanding of actually how much your body does outside of the gym, and when it's recovering, it's actually burning so much more energy than you realize. Like if you sat in your bed and did nothing all day, you'd still be burning calories because your body has to keep you alive. Like your brain has to function, you have to blink, you have to breathe, everything like that. Your body is burning energy to do that. So it actually burns more calories outside of the gym when you're resting, when you're sleeping, everything like that, rather than whenever you're actually training. And I think a big part of that is what your watch is telling you. And when you go into the gym and you hit start workout and it tells you, okay, I've burned like 600, 700 calories. Wow. No, it's not accurate.
There's one thing you said there that I kind of want to go back to, and it's something we've touched on loads before, and it's listening to your body. So when it comes to overtraining or even the resting thing, your body it keeps the score, so you've got to understand your own body and what's going on there. And just because, you train in a class environment, you're not missing out. Trust me, listen to your body, get the recovery and perform better the next time.
Yeah, it's so tempting when you do work out with other people. And they're like, oh, come on, just jump in on this one. And you've already done like 3 workouts that day. And then somebody says, oh, do you want to jump in on this? And then you miss out on 5 days of training because you pick up an injury or you're knackered or whatever. So like for that marginal extra gain of that like 30-minute session, you maybe miss out on 2 quality weeks of training.
Yeah. The third thing that long term will probably lead to your failure is jumping on trends. We've all seen it over the years. There was the aerobics movement, the Zumba movement, the spin movement, all these different...
No. What a trend that was.
All these different diets that people have jumped on and seen success short term, but never stuck at them.
Yeah.
And that's, it's one of those kind of yo-yo things where like the pendulum swings one way and it's got to come back. We want you to make changes to your habits and your lifestyles that are sustainable. All 3 of these things have been about sustainability so far, so it's not about making massive change at the very start, seeing success, and then not being able to keep that up. That's the massive thing. Trends are trends for a reason. They've had their time and had their place, but long-term lifestyle, healthy decisions are, they're not trendy.
Yeah, they're not sexy. Yeah. And they probably are very basic and don't, like, you can't package them up and market them the same way that you can with a different trend, because it actually is so simple when you boil it down, but it almost seems too simple and too good to be true. And you've got to have the next thing, and people think, oh, well, I tried that and it didn't work. Well, you probably didn't try it for long enough, and then you're just straight on to the next thing.
Yeah. That was number 3. Number 4 is your absolute favorite. It's quantity over quality.
Yeah, so this is a big one for me, and we touched on it in the last episode as well, and something that we've probably said, a phrase that we've mentioned before, that I always come back to is that more isn't better, better is better. So reinforcing that it's better to do probably 4 movements in the gym, in your exercise program, with your full intent, with your max output, rather than doing 15 at like 50%, trying to hit absolutely everything, trying to hit every single body part, and work everything, rather than doing those 4 movements and doing them to your absolute best. And we talked a little bit last week about getting that understanding of training and trying to figure out what you should be getting from each session and what the intent of that is, and moving with intent as well, rather than kind of going through the motions and half-heartedly doing everything, but feeling like, oh yeah, I got through absolutely everything, like A to F in that session.
There's no more to add to that.
Okay,
I don't think.
great.
I think you nailed that. And the 5th thing is probably the biggest one for me. Comparing your journey to others. You know, we see it all the time. Social media is the worst thing for this, because we all only post our best bits. You know, very rarely will you go on and see somebody's worst days, you know. So comparing yourself it's the absolute worst. You know, you all know the saying, comparison is a thief of joy, and that is so true. There's no better way to kind of lose how you feel, like that kind of good feeling you have about your training and your nutrition and all these things, than kind of flicking on the social media and comparing it to someone else. Yeah. It's huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I think whenever people even post transformation photos, that can be misleading, because you don't see all of the in-between bits. You see part A and you see Z, and you don't see everything in between that got you to that point. And it's obviously, we talk about this as well, and you'll hear a lot of people speaking about this, but it's never linear. You know, it's up and down and backwards and forwards, and sometimes it's 2 steps back to take 1 step forward. And yeah, you just don't know what goes into everybody's journey to get them from where they started to where they finished, and how long that actually took them. Yeah, anything more to add?
That's probably it. So those are our 5. Really quickly, one more time: skipping meals or cutting your calories too aggressively, overtraining and under resting, jumping on trends, quantity over quality, and comparing your journey to others. If you can avoid those 5 things, you'll probably see success when it comes to your training and nutrition and all over health. That has been another episode of Coffee Talks. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.